Daily Broadside, day 441. You remember when you were a kid and you go in a place and they had samples, whether it was a grocery store, currently Costco, places like that. I imagine Sam's Clubs does it too. But when I was a kid, you could only find Chick-fil-A's in malls, right? And so you'd go in our mall, and it was like on the corner right there. It was right across from Aladdin's Castle, the place where you play all the video games. And you go in there, and there'd ought to be this old lady, some lady in her 70s. She's handing out little pieces of chicken with toothpicks all in it. And you would go by, and you would try to swipe as many of those little bastards as you could, because it's just a delectable chicken. And then you come back by like 20 minutes later with like a mustache, and you'd try to eat more. She didn't care, it wasn't her chicken. But anyway, samples make the world go round. People love a sample, I used to be a member of Costco, and then moved further away from it. It just wasn't really feasible for me to go up there, fight all that stupid people over, I don't need, 72 pounds of bison burgers, you know what I mean? So I'm not running a wholesale mart at the house. So at any rate, when you used to go up there, especially on the weekends, and they'd have the sample things, you'd find yourself trying some of the weirdest stuff, like, oh, guava tuna salad, I'll have some of this, and you're like, but every once in a while you'd find something that was pretty cool. But I say all that to say this. I tell you what needs to have samples, and they can afford to do it because it doesn't cost that much in the grand scheme of things once they get their operation running, is liquor stores, just like half shots, right? Like we come up with a word for a half shot, right? And you just sit there and, oh, this is really good. And people would buy that stuff because I'm going to tell you what, you go in a liquor store in 2023 and then you go back in a liquor store in 1983, man, what would they have even had back then? Like there are so many, there's so many vodkas out there, you got cauliflower vodka and tampon flavored vodka, just every vodka known to man. There's 47 back in the day. You had your low shelf stuff and then your high end stuff, and it was just vodka, But anyway, so yeah, I'm going back and watching Dexter with my youngest son, and I got to tell you, I'm not gonna make it. I'm in somewhere in the middle of season 3, and it's taken me the better part of a month to get there, and I can't put up with it much longer. The acting is so ridiculously horrible. I don't even know I remember John Lithgow. I think he comes out in the next season of 4. The Trinity Killer, the only serial killer they ever gave a cool name to. The Ice Truck Killer. Shut up, man. Shut up. But yeah, so John Lithgow, obviously a very good actor. The Carradine guy in season 2, I guess, he played a good part. Other than that, every actor sucks. C. Thomas, Michael Anthony Hall, whatever that guy's name is, Dexter. I love the story because it's cool. It's set in Miami. He has a reason to go out on his boat and dump body parts. Like everything kind of works out and all that. And it's a big enough city to where you could probably kill people and not get caught as quickly because there's just so many millions of people. But the acting is so overdone. And I don't understand why they picked some of the people that they did. Like the sister, God, she's got the body of a 12-year-old boy. You know what I mean? Why would they pick her as the lead? And I'm not saying they need like this bombshell of a girl, but she's got these eyes that are all the way over here apart from each other. Has weird pig nose. She just looks goofy. It looks like she weighs 107 pounds. It's just not a healthy weight at all. But yeah, and she has to cuss in everything she says. And it's one of those things where you cuss too much, it just doesn't really have the effect. It's a horrible look. It's kind of like Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad when they were on AMC, whatever channel that originally. I looked into Breaking Bad early on because I saw the preview for it, and I'm like, oh, it looks cool. So I watched the first episode and watched it all the way through. So I got to see it live, which was, I didn't have to play catch up. The opposite of what I did for Game of Thrones. I caught that in like season 7, so I had to watch like 9 months of shows. But anyway, Pinkman's on that TV show and he can't cuss, so he's like, everything's just bitch. I'll tell you what, bitch. Everything's just bitch. And you can only make a bitch sound so strong and fervent. All right? But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about dating. I was watching something. I was thinking about the 40-Year-Old Virgin when they're doing the speed dating. You know, oh, Gina is Gina. That's the best line in the movie. But anyway, they were. I was thinking about that in my head to myself, and I was thinking, I was like, man, what if you were like doing that speed dating, or if you went out on a date just in general, and you know, they ask you, so what do you do? And you're like, I'm a storm chaser. And you're like, I'm sorry, what was that? Check. You know, like, what kind of a job is that? What does that pay? Who pays you? Where's the money involved? You know, so you're basically Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton. I don't know which is which. I think the one that's still alive. But and you're riding around with Helen Hunt, who, by the way, looks like a dead skin mask. She looks like one of those ugly women at the beginning of the Beastmaster that sucks the baby out of the woman's stomach and puts it in a cow. She, you know, that she's one of those people. The Jun Horde, and then those people that like. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid. And you know, they filmed that in like Arizona, like that whole like chapel where they like threw all the kids in the fire and all that stuff. That movie should be remade, but by like somebody like really dark and sinister. You know, don't put a happy spin on it, because there's some pretty dark elements in that. Quite frankly, and burning bodies impaled on stakes and stuff. They killed a dog, and they trained that dog to just drag itself along. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Helen Hunt looks like one of those witches at the beginning of that movie. But yeah, so you're a storm chaser, and you're like, I don't know if I could live with this. You know, you basically just riding around in a 94 red Dodge Ram and putting a belt tying your belt loop to a metal pole on a farm and hoping. That would have ripped every. I don't even want to talk about it. It's a stupid movie. It's a stupid career. Weathermen in general, meteorology degrees, all that crap is dumb, and those people shouldn't be even allowed to date. Get it.